Welcome to the Grace Period, where we get real about attorney mental health and well-being and pull back the veil on the high-stakes world of big law. I'm your host, Emily Logan Stedman. In this demanding profession, it is crucial that we don't lose ourselves in the hustle for billable hours. On the Grace Period, we'll have honest conversations about striking a better balance, developing coping strategies and better practice management, and destigmatizing mental health. It's time to prioritize our shared humanity, to find our grace period. On today's second episode of Season 1, we will define the billable hour. I'm just going to give it to you straight, define the billable hour. Next week, we'll talk about how to track it and what is expected of big law associates around the billable hour. Let's talk about the billable hour, a somewhat controversial and even triggering topic. The billable hour is the predominant method by which most law firms, especially big firms, account for work performed. It is how we bill our clients. To start, every attorney has an hourly rate, the fee for which law firms charge their clients for the work of timekeepers. Some professionals, such as paralegals, also keep their time and bill it to clients. These timekeepers bill their time by tracking every task associated with a legal matter in tenths of an hour, 6 minutes, or 0.1 increments. This includes research, emails, court appearances, negotiations, document review, and much, much more. Hourly rates range from a few $100s per hour for paralegals and junior associates to thousands of dollars per hour for the most elite and experienced partners. In big law, most firms require associates to bill a certain number of hours each year. This ranges from 1,800 to 2,400 hours a year. But keep in mind, some firms say one thing on paper in recruiting materials, for example, but actually expect much, much more in reality and in order to be promoted or get a bonus. Like most things in life, there are pros and cons to the billable hour. Proponents of the billable hour will tell you that it shows the actual work and effort required to complete tasks, incentivizing thorough work while giving clients transparency into costs. It can also be a time management tool, showing you exactly how, when, where, and why you spend your time. Critics of the billable hour will tell you that it promotes inefficiencies. If, for example, I need to hit a certain number of hours each year, it could be better for me to take longer on an assignment to bank hours, which then leads to the client paying more than what is necessary or required for the actual work. The billable hour is also often tied to its negative impact on attorney mental health and well-being. It becomes this badge of productivity, creating an intense pressure to hit the billable hour requirement, maximize billable hours, and ultimately causing poor work-life balance, substance abuse, intense internalized pressure, and other issues. This is very prevalent in big law. Are there other options to the billable hour? Of course. Some firms work on contingency fees like a success fee. You only pay if we win. Other firms used fixed fees, meaning you pay us a set amount for a set type or category of work. These are called alternative fee arrangements or AFAs. You might also see a hybrid model mixing flat, contingency, and hourly fees. Until the 1950s, these AFA models were most common. Then, the ability to precisely track time became easier with the modernization of the legal profession, so the hourly rate and billing time became more prevalent. Even as AFAs return as options in the legal profession, for most attorneys doing the work, especially in big law, we still have to track our time, 6 minutes by 6 minutes, a tenth of an hour by a tenth of an hour. But we're starting to see clients demand more efficiency and clarity in costs and billing, and they're also prioritizing wellness and health and well-being. So the billable hour and expectations and requirements around it are likely to evolve, seeing a transition to value provided and the focus on value provided rather than just the time it took to get to that value. So that's a brief introduction to the billable hour. Next week, I'll talk about how I track my time and make sure that I hit those billable hour requirements. Thank you for joining me on this episode of The Grace Period. I hope this discussion has provided insight for finding more balance, peace, and perspective amid the demands of big law. Remember, you don't have to sacrifice your well-being for career success. By prioritizing self-care, time management, setting boundaries, and seeking support, you can survive and even thrive in big law. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. That is the path to our grace period.